This is going to be my highest production quality video to date. If you're wondering why I'm wearing sunglasses on the inside, it's because this giant light is beaming me right in the eyes. So I've been getting a lot of questions and a lot of things I didn't address in my initial video review or kind of first thoughts of this frame. This is a LightCarbon LCG-010-D from LightCarbon.com. This is a Chinese frame, very affordable. That being said, I want to address a lot of the questions and kind of go into a more in-depth look at the specs, the weight, all of the basic questions that involve this frame. Now this particular one is the one that was destroyed in the mail. You can see my video of that here. But I don't want to take my bike apart, so I'm going to leave this up here for props. For all other things, it is the same exact size. That being said, let's get into it. So what you're looking at here is a 58 centimeter. That is going to be an extra large in LightCarbon standards. And for most of the other world, I guess it is an extra large as well. So some of the basic specs of this bike are that it has a 40-52 tapered steer head tube, as well as a tapered fork that you get. It has a BB86 bottom bracket. The fork has a 12 by 100 front through axle and a 12 by 142 rear axle. It supports mechanical and Di2. The seat post is 27.2 millimeters. The max tire size clearance is going to be 700C by 41C or 650B by 1.9 inches. It is flat mount disc brakes. If you want to see the geometry of the frame, it's all on lightcarbon.com. I'll leave a link to the bike frame itself. Now, let's get into the weight. I get a lot of questions about the weight of this bike. On lightcarbon.com, they give weight of a medium-sized bike. This being an extra large, we get a different number. I also got a smaller discrepancy number between the fork and the seat post. So the claimed weight for the medium frame is 1,060 grams. The extra large is 1,235. So the fork and the seat post should not vary between bikes unless they give you a smaller seat post. But the claimed weight for the fork was 460 grams. It actually was, when I weighed it, 469. The seat post was 183 grams, and when I weighed it, it was 191. So there's a small discrepancy there, about 8 grams for the seat post and 9 for the fork. And the through axles, they don't really tell you, but there's 74 in the front, 92 grams in the rear. Now, what did this frame cost me to get it to Texas from Shenzhen, I believe is where they're from? The frame itself was $470. Now, shipping through EMS was $87. And LightCarbon charged me for the PayPal fee, which was $22.28, bringing the total of this bike up to $579.28 shipped to my door. As far as the wait time goes, this is more of a testament to the customer service. The initial wait on the frame was 12 days consecutive to Shenzhen to Texas. Now, mind you, this was before any pandemic or anything like that, so shipping was not delayed. Also, as a testament to the customer service, when I received this, it was destroyed. Well, it was quite badly damaged, and I reached out to LightCarbon, and they had sent me out a frame next day. Not next day air, but I reported it to them. We started doing the paperwork. They sent me out the following day. The next frame, the new frame, undamaged, got to me in 7 days. Record time. A lot of people claim that they don't buy Chinese bikes because they don't get QC'd, quality controlled, and they don't have a warranty. LightCarbon claims this bike has a 2-year warranty. Now, I don't know what that process is like, and if it and how they determine if your bike is warranted. I assume it's anything that's not caused by you. If you crash your bike into a wall, I don't imagine they're going to warranty you. But if you're riding down the road and something just snaps, I imagine they may warranty that. But I have not had to use the warranty yet. The bike is held up. I'm about 2,023 miles on this frame. Granted, very few of them are gravel, and so I'm not doing a review on how great this bike is or how not great it is, because I have not actually put it to what it's built to be, gravel. And I'll be getting into that more later. We'll be doing gravel. I'll go over that. But all the facts aside, the basic information and specs, what it costs, how long it takes to get here, actual versus claimed weight, and all of the standards, which I think are important in picking a bike. Let's go into some of the things I dislike about this bike. So let me preface this with saying a lot of these dislikes are not structural. They don't going to cause you any problems. They're easily fixed. They do cost money to fix. So the first thing that I did not like about this bike is the stock through axles. I'm going to put it up on the screen here, what they look like and how much they weigh. So the front weighs 74 grams and the rear weighs 92, and they're very, very bulky. So that being said, a quick and easy replacement for this is to grab you some OG-EVKIN stems, which are on sale right now for 22 bucks. I'll leave the link in the description below on eBay. The pair of OG-EVKIN through axles come in at 71 grams for both of them. That's less than the weight of the front axle by itself. So you can fix that issue for about $23 shipped. The second thing I don't like about this bike, the seat post clamp. It's very heavy. Now I'm not sure there is a better option. This looks like a proprietary seat clamp, and I'll put it up on the screen now. It's very heavy. It comes in around 50 grams. And I feel like there is a better way to do this. I've thought about designing my own and having it milled out of CNC aluminum or some other lighter material. I haven't figured out the solution yet, so I'm just running it. Granted, 50 grams, not huge, but I feel like there is room for improvement. Number 3, and this is probably my biggest gripe about this bike, and I'm gonna throw this up on the screen now. The original rear derailleur hanger was a two-piece system, and a lot of people asked me what I was talking about because I didn't really show it. So now you can see on the screen it comes in two pieces. There is a nut, and then there's the housing of the derailleur, and then there's a grub screw that you can tighten down to lock the nut into place. But how this works is when you tighten that grub screw down, it always cinches it in at an angle. So when you pull that skewer out, or the through axle out, it's gonna tilt. And so when it tilts, when you go to put it back in, you're either gonna strip your threads or you're not gonna be able to get it in. Now, LightCarbon has already remedied this. They have the rear derailleur hanger with the threaded through axle hole built in. I had to ask them about it, and then I had to pay $10 for each one to have them shipped. So if you get this bike, make sure you tell them you want the piece that you're seeing now. I'm gonna throw it up on the screen. You want the one-piece rear derailleur hanger because A, it's not gonna give you any issues. And if you're like me and you pull your bike out, you get it on the trainer a lot, on and off the trainer, outdoors, indoors, outdoors, indoors, or anything, you're gonna need to have this. If you don't have that grub screw tightened down and you pull your axle out, it's just the nut's gonna fall on the floor and you gotta go chase it around, and it is absolutely annoying. And B, it's lighter. The one piece is lighter than the two piece, and you can see that there in the video. And the fourth thing, and this is probably a big issue. This is more of a structural issue. So I have found that the bottom bracket is not perfectly round, and it may be a little undersized on the non-drive side. Now I've installed a Hambini bottom bracket in mine, and I'll leave a link to Hambini stuff, amazing product. But I've noticed the non-drive side is tighter. The bearing is tighter than the drive side. And so I don't know if there's also non-concentric holes. I don't know if they're lined up, but I definitely know that they are not flush. When you go to mount a bottom bracket into the shell, it's going to be tilted or off and slightly away. When I installed my Hambini bottom bracket, I noticed that the bottom bracket was flush on the bottom, but about 75% all the way back around, there was, you know, a millimeter or so, maybe a little less, of gap. So I don't know. I mean, this is, you're probably going to find this with a lot of manufacturers, especially with carbon fiber bikes, because of the material is not reinforced. So with my next bike, you know, I'm going to be looking at something like the Hong Fu with a you know, an aluminum insert, or, you know, a look with the aluminum insert or some kind of insert in there that's going to keep your bottom bracket shell concentric and perfectly round. I wouldn't say perfectly, but damn near close. And the final thing that I don't like about this, and this is more of nitpicking, I just want to mention it to you, is the internal cable routing. Now, if you look on your screen, you can see that it's not the best. Aside from the brakes, the shifter holes are two big gaping holes. And then you get these little plastic inserts that you can stick into it, and or you can get flat ones that cover up. If you're using a one by like me, I cover up the other one. But for the most part, they're not great. On the rear derailleur, I found that it kind of is hard to keep it in there. If you have too short of a cable, or, you know, you've got kind of a weird angle, the cable will pull that little clip out. So it's annoying. It's not a big issue. You could probably glue it in. I don't know if you want to do that, but that's that. So like I said, I've got about 2,023 miles on it, and here are the things that I do like about the LGC-010-D. Number one, the price, $470, $579.28 shipped to the States. Excellent price. You're not going to find that kind of deal for a complete fork frame seat post setup, and for the weight, a carbon fiber bike that's going to hold up for that kind of price. Number two is the reliability. I've been on this, and again, not a whole lot of miles, about 2,000, a little over 2,000, but I haven't had an issue with it. No failures, nothing. The third thing I like about this is that this bike has a lot of common standards. Now, cheaper bikes tend to come with older standards, or something like a, you know, a straight steerer tube or a bottom bracket that you don't really care for, as well as non-internal cable routing, no through axle, maybe rim brakes. But for the price, which is not much higher than the rim brake stuff, you get all of these newer, I wouldn't say newer, but more common standards. And it's definitely value added. The fourth thing is the customer service. I've only had to deal with the customer service once, but I've kept a connection with LightCarbon and the person who sold me my bike, and I bought, you know, a wheel set from them, which have been great. But when dealing with the USPS issue where they destroyed the frame, LightCarbon gets a 5-star rating from me as far as customer service goes, because they had a bike shipped to me faster than the first one got there. Thing is, I was going on vacation for 3 weeks out of the country. I had like a week before I had to go, and they got the frame to me before the day before I left on vacation. Who knows what would have happened if it would have sat out front of my door for 3 weeks? You know, somebody would have taken it. I could tell you that. But customer service, very responsive, will get you what you want. And, you know, if there's any mishaps with your local postal service, they'll work with you and get you another frame or whatever. The last thing I want to say is that it looks great. The frame looks great. The frame rides great. I get everywhere I go, everybody asks me about this frame. They're like, well, you know, what kind of bike is that? Of course, as soon as I tell them, they snub their nose and roll away like, you know, they didn't ask how, you know, what badass bike this was. But that's about it. Now, I'm not going to review this. I can say that of the 2,000 miles, I'd say about 1,900 of them were on the road. I've put about 1,000 watts max maybe like 950 through this frame. So not a whole lot, but this frame is held up. And I say this one, I mean my bike, has held up. That's all I can say about that. It's still riding, and I haven't crashed it or anything like that, so I can't speak on that. I imagine it'll crumble if I crash, but I work it on the trainer. I take it out. It's my primary bike at this point, but so far it's holding up, and I haven't had any issues with it. Anyway, that's basic rundown of the LightCarbon LCG-010-D. And I hope you liked this video. If you have any more questions, or if I didn't answer anything, which I try to do, hit me up in the comments. Like this video if it was useful. If you plan on buying a LightCarbon bike, show me your build, man. I love looking at these bikes. I love seeing the builds, and let me know what you think about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you in a little bit. I've got upgrades coming with bikes over there. Thanks.